The lights of New York City have a way of exposing the truth about an athlete. Some crumble under the towering expectations and the relentless noise of Flushing Meadows. Others, they let the energy of the Big Apple fuel them. And right now, no one is absorbing that New York energy quite like Alexandra Eala. When a 21-year-old tennis phenom posted a simple selfie to her social media with the caption, "Coming for you, New York," the tennis world and an entire nation instantly went on high alert. Alex Eala has officially touched down in the Empire State, and she is bringing a tidal wave of momentum with her. This isn't just another routine tournament arrival. This feels like the arrival of a certified global superstar. They are already calling her the sold-out Queen of Queens, and for good reason. From the moment she stepped foot in the city ahead of the 2026 U.S. Open, the atmosphere completely shifted. The fan reaction has been nothing short of electric, turning Fan Week into a full-blown spectacle. We are witnessing the absolute peak of Ealamania, a phenomenon where a passionate, global Filipino fan base is completely taking over the WTA conversation. But why is this specific arrival making such massive headlines across the sports media landscape? Because the Alex Eala walking into the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center today is a fundamentally different player than the one we saw even a year ago. She isn't just a promising young talent hoping for a lucky draw anymore. She is the world number 20. She is a newly crowned WTA champion fresh off a historic, trailblazing title run at the DC Open. She is a player who has spent this summer actively dismantling highly ranked opponents and proving she belongs on the sport's most demanding stages. For the first time in her young career, she arrives at a Grand Slam not as a plucky underdog, but as a heavily scouted, seeded contender that the rest of the locker room is desperately trying to avoid. In this video, we are going to break down exactly what is happening on the ground in New York. We will look at the unbelievable crowd reception surrounding her every move, the staggering financial stakes of this year's U.S. Open, and a highly anticipated mixed doubles pairing with ADP World number 4, Felix Auger-Aliassime, that already has a tennis world buzzing. We will also dive deep into the tactical evolution that has transformed her hardcore game and ask the hardest question of all. After an exhausting high-intensity summer swing, does she have the physical endurance to survive a grueling 2-week run in New York? The stage is set. The Filipino army has arrived. Eala is in an empire state of mind, but beneath the sold-out crowds and the flashing cameras, there's a hidden storyline few people have noticed, and what happens next could change her career forever. To understand why New York has exploded with excitement, you have to step inside the gates of Flushing Meadows during U.S. Open Fan Week. Normally, practice sessions and early qualifying rounds are relatively subdued affairs. You might see a dedicated crowd of die-hard tennis enthusiasts drifting between the practice courts with pens and oversized tennis balls, quietly tracking their favorite stars. But the moment Alex Eala walked out onto the practice courts in Queens, that standard low-key atmosphere evaporated completely. Hundreds of fans had already lined the metal railings 3 rows deep before she even unzipped her racket bag. Philippine flags were draped over the bleachers. Chants of her name echoed across the walkways between Arthur Ashe Stadium and the outer courts. Security guards had to establish temporary cordons just to manage the overflow of supporters rushing to get a glimpse of her baseline drills. Local commentators quickly coined the phrase, "She is a sold-out queen," whenever Eala's name appears on a practice schedule or a court assignment. Tickets disappear and bleachers reach capacity within minutes. For tournament organizers, it's a promoter's dream. For the New York crowd, it feels like an authentic cultural festival on the grounds of the Grand Slam. Every time I hear the fans cheering for me, whether I'm just practicing or playing a match, it gives me goosebumps, Eala remarked after greeting a sea of supporters. New York has this wild, electric pulse. Hearing people call out in Tagalog from the stands when you're thousands of miles from home, you just can't describe that feeling. However, what happened next surprised everyone who was tracking her preparation. Instead of treating these high-energy practice sessions like simple warm-ups, Eala dialed up the intensity to match play levels. Spectators weren't just watching standard rallying. They were watching a clinic in modern, aggressive hardcourt tennis. Tactically, her game has reached a completely new tier of maturity. For years, scouting reports on Eala highlighted her exceptional court vision and natural left-handed angles. but noted that she could occasionally be pushed behind the baseline by heavy, flat hitters. This summer, that narrative was decisively rewritten. During her recent tournament swing, observers noticed a crucial technical adjustment. She has taken the ball noticeably earlier on the rise, refusing to yield ground on the baseline. Her signature left-handed forehand, which used to be heavy on topspin to create safety, is now being driven to the court with flatter trajectory and pinpoint depth. When opponents try to attack her backhand corner, she isn't just offending. She is redirecting cross-court with blistering pace, turning defensive positions into immediate offensive strikes. Furthermore, her first serve efficiency has seen a dramatic leap. By altering the toss height slightly and focusing on slice out wide to the ad court, Eala is earning cheap points and opening up the entire court for immediate forehand putaways. It is an aggressive, proactive style of play tailored specifically to the fast-playing, high-bouncing DecoTurf courts of the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. The tennis world took serious notice of these tactical upgrades during her breakthrough North American summer run. Match after match, she showed an uncanny ability to navigate high-stress tiebreaks and break points down the stretch, outthinking and outgrinding experienced tour veterans. Then came another blockbuster headline that set social media ablaze. Her entry into mixed doubles draw alongside ADP standout Felix Auger-Aliassime. When the pairing was announced, it immediately became one of the hottest tickets of the entire tournament. Pairing Eala's rapid-fire baseline rhythm and sharp return game with Auger-Aliassime's thunderous serve and net presence created an instant contender on paper. But beyond the novelty, it represents something far more significant. Eala is now sharing the marquee with top-tier Grand Slam mainstays, operating comfortably among the elite of the sport. Yet, beneath all the buzz and celebrity status of New York, a major challenge looms. Playing in New York is unlike playing anywhere else in the world. The humidity can be punishing. The night matches can drag on well past midnight, and the unrelenting roar of 23,000 fans in a stadium court can overwhelm even the most seasoned champions. Few people notice one crucial detail during her final practice sets: the sheer physical toll of playing deep into consecutive tournaments leading up to a 2-week Grand Slam marathon. So why is this physical test the ultimate question mark for her campaign? Because the tactical blueprint to beat top players is clear, but surviving 7 rounds of Grand Slam pressure demands a level of endurance and mental fortitude that very few athletes ever achieve. And as the main draw approaches, analysts are beginning to look deeper into the numbers, and what they reveal is truly astonishing. When you strip away the sold-out crowds and the viral social media posts, the reality of Grand Slam tennis comes down to raw numbers. And right now, the numbers surrounding Alex Eala are forcing every major tennis analyst to rethink her ceiling. To fully grasp the magnitude of what she is achieving this summer, you have to look backward before you can look forward. Historically, the transition from junior phenom to consistent WTA contender is where most careers go to die. The sport is littered with former prodigies who dominated the junior ranks but simply lacked the power, the physical endurance, or the mental resilience to survive against fully grown professionals who play for their livelihoods. Eala's historical context in New York makes this current run feel almost cinematic. This is the exact same venue where, in 2022, a 17-year-old Eala made history by becoming the first player from the Philippines to win a junior Grand Slam singles title. She didn't drop a single set during that entire junior championship run, flashing a level of composure that immediately marked her as a generational prospect. But the jump from lifting a junior trophy on court 11 to surviving the grueling, high-stakes trenches of the WTA main draw is a completely different universe. And she has not just survived the jump, she has engineered a statistical explosion. Let's look at the verified data from her breakout 2026 season. As she cracked the world top 20 for the first time, an unprecedented milestone for a Filipino player, her return statistics went through the roof. Against top-tier competition, Eala is currently dominating second-serve returns, converting on more than 55% of those opportunities. When you combine that with a staggering ability to save break points on her own serve, you have a mathematical formula that breaks opponents mentally. But it's the evolution of her pressure management that has experts buzzing. Earlier in her professional transition, when she was grinding to the challenger and ITF circuits, analysts pointed to a clear weakness: a tendency to overplay her ground strokes in tight, late-set scenarios, resulting in untimely, unforced errors. Her natural strength was always her exceptional court geometry and that whipping left-handed forehand honed at the Rafa Nadal Academy. But her weakness was occasionally a lack of a bailout pitch, a reliable, free-point generating serve when her back was against the wall. This year, the narrative has flipped entirely. Eala is winning more than 60% of the points behind her first serve on hard courts, and she is backing it up with a relentless, baseline-hugging aggression. She is taking time away from her opponents, rushing their preparation, and dictating the tempo of the rallies. It is a suffocating style of play that requires immense cardiovascular fitness, which brings us back to the biggest question mark of her current U.S. Open campaign. After a grueling, title-winning run at the D.C. Open and a deep dive into the North American hardcourt swing, how much gas is left in the tank? The physical demands of her current play style are immense, noted one veteran WTA analyst during a recent broadcast. She is playing high-octane first-strike tennis. It's incredibly effective, but it requires her legs to be fresh so she can explode into those aggressive court positions. If the New York heat spikes, or she gets dragged into a 3-hour, 3-set war in the early rounds, we're going to find out exactly what her physical limits are. The career implications of this tournament cannot be overstated. By securing a seated position, Eala guarantees herself protection from the highest-ranked giants in the opening rounds. But with that protection comes a massive target on her back. For the first time, she isn't the hunter. She is the hunted. Players ranked outside the top 50 will look at her draw and view a match against a 21-year-old as their own career-making opportunity. She is no longer carrying just the hopes of a passionate fan base. She is carrying the immense pressure of validating her new elite status on the sport's biggest stage. Every forehand, every drop shot, and every double fault will be dissected by a global audience that now expects greatness rather than simply hoping for it. The physical toll is real. The tactical blueprint is set. But what happens when the tactical preparation collides with the brutal, unpredictable reality of a U.S. Open night match? When you step back and look at the bigger picture, Eala's journey in New York is about far more than just ranking points or a Grand Slam trophy. It represents a profound cultural shift in world tennis. For decades, the sport has looked at traditional powerhouses, the United States, Europe, Australia, to produce its headline stars. Southeast Asia, despite boasting one of the most passionate and digitally engaged sports audiences on the planet, had long waited for a homegrown singles talent capable of standing shoulder to shoulder with the global elite on a Grand Slam main court. Eala is not just filling that void. She is completely redefining what is possible for an entire generation of athletes across the region. Every time she steps on the court, she carries the hopes of millions who see their own aspirations reflected in her relentless drive. When you see thousands of fans waving flags in Queens, buying out stadium sessions hours in advance, and singing along to every beat of the tournament atmosphere, you realize this isn't just fandom. It's a movement. She has proven that with world-class discipline, relentless work ethic, and unwavering poise under pressure, the biggest stages in tennis are open to everyone. Yet, as we look to the future, a balanced perspective is essential. Grand Slam tennis is notoriously unforgiving. The road to the draw in Flushing Meadows is packed with seasoned Grand Slam champions, former world number ones, and hard-hitting specialists who have spent years navigating these exact pressure cooker moments. A single off day, a minor dip in first serve percentage, or an ill-timed physical fatigue can end even the most magical tournament run in an instant. Eala is still only 21 years old. Win or lose over the coming fortnight, this tournament is not the finish line of her career. It is merely the opening chapter of her prime. What makes her outlook so incredibly bright is not just her athletic ceiling, but her mental wiring. She approaches a spectacle with a rare sense of gratitude and focus. She doesn't run from the roar of the crowd or the weight of expectations. She embraces them, channels them into her game, and leaves everything on the court. As the sun sets over the iconic New York skyline and the floodlights illuminate the hard courts of Flushing Meadows, one thing is undeniably clear. The tennis world will be watching her every move. The stage is set. The lights are at their brightest. The sold-out queen is ready to write the next chapter of tennis history. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below. How far do you think Eala will go in this year's U.S. Open? Can she make a deep championship run? Or will the grueling draw prove to be too much? Let us know your thoughts. And stay tuned right here for complete coverage, analysis, and breaking news as the action unfolds in New York. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.